A new era is set to begin for NBC Nightly News. Tom Llamas taking over as anchor, and we are so excited to congratulate him and welcome him into this new role. Tom is joining us now, so congratulations to you. You're becoming the anchor of NBC Nightly News, holding the seat of great anchors like Tom Brokaw, Brian Williams, and the great Lester Holt. How does that feel for you?
Well, first, Jennifer, thanks so much for having me on your show, and thanks to your viewers as well for their time. Listen, I grew up watching NBC News. We were an NBC family, and I watched all those legends that you mentioned right there. And Lester he's a friend, and he's been a mentor to me throughout my career. He's such a great journalist, but he's also a great guy. So to be filling in for him and then to be taking over the broadcast now, it truly is the honor of a lifetime. I'm looking so forward to this opportunity. I've been working in newsrooms since I was 15. I've done local news, national news, international news. I've covered wars, hurricanes, you name it, I have been there because I truly believe in what we do. I think it's a public service. And I want your viewers to know that I work for NBC, I work for Nightly News, but I really work for them. I work for our viewers because that's why we're there. We're there to ask the tough questions. We're there to be tough but fair. And to report the news without fear or favor. And that's what they're going to get with me every night on Nightly News.
Yeah, that's certainly how we all feel. Now, we know you're not a stranger to NBC. Do you, though, feel some of the pressure that comes along with assuming this role?
Look, I mean, I won't lie. Of course you do, right? But pressure is a privilege. I started working at NBC at a college on an overnight shift, right? And weekends. I mean, I was so far removed from this position right now, you can't even believe it. But I've worked really hard. I've worked every job pretty much at NBC. And to have this opportunity now, I mean, it's a great opportunity, but it's also a great responsibility, right? People turn to us every night because we live in some wild times, whether it be in this country, overseas, or even in your own backyard. I think people still need the network news. The network news are important. It serves an important purpose. And at the end of the day, people are going to turn to us and they're going to want to know what's going on. And we're going to be there for them, explaining what's happening.
So, Tom, as you assume this position, what does it mean for you? Because you'll be becoming the first Latino anchor of a network evening news program. That's really major. It's important and it's groundbreaking.
It is, Jennifer. There were trailblazers that came before me, and when I looked up, I would see them, people like Jose Diaz-Balart. And so I knew I could do this job. My parents escaped communist Cuba in the late 50s and early 60s, and they came to this country with pretty much nothing, not even speaking English, but this wonderful country gave them a second chance. And so my parents taught me hard work, but also to love this country. And I do. I think this is the greatest place in the world. And they also taught me to be proud of where I came from, and I am. I'm a proud Cuban American. And it's incredible to know that I'm going to be the first to lead a broadcast like this. And I just think it shows that the American dream is still alive.
It certainly is. And I know your hands are going to be full because you'll also be serving as managing editor. So what does that mean for our viewers at home who may not be familiar with all the ins and outs of the journalism world?
You know, it's a good question. Managing editor basically means that I'm going to be involved in every aspect of the show. I'm not just going to read the news. I'm talking to our reporters. I'm talking to our producers. I'm talking about stories that we want to launch, investigations we want to look into, searching for stories, stacking the stories in the broadcast, the order they go in, and then also finding those stories that sort of bring us together as a country. So I like to say I'm involved in every second of that show.
So you'll certainly be a leader in the production from start to finish there. Can we expect, though, any changes to the broadcast style or content as y'all go forward?
You know, Nightly News has been so successful for decades, and it's because people trust the show. They also like the way the show is. So I'm not going to mess with the formula too much. It's a great broadcast. Lester's put together a great show, and I'm going to carry that on. Little by little, I'll be putting my stamp on it. I'm sure viewers will notice some differences, but they're not going to be major differences. And I believe sort of an evolution. Little by little, you know, the storytelling and the way we present the news, it's going to match what you're used to seeing on things like on your phone and in your everyday life. But for the most part, Nightly News is great. I'm not going to tweak too much the formula.
So we've been talking a little bit about the importance of journalism and how it brings people really critical information and stories that impact their lives, just not in their communities, but all around the world. We know that you're big on getting out there, going to the scene because we've seen you out there. Do you think that really resonates with people, and how so?
I mean, I think so, right? And I think all the greats in this business have done that. You got to get out there sometimes. You can't stay locked to the studio. I want to bring a reporter sensibility to the show. I think it's something that Lester did as well. I've always sort of been a breaking news, sort of big story reporter that I like to go out there and tackle those assignments. I think it's good to see things with your own eyes. I think it's good to meet with people and to tell their stories. As an anchor, you got to be able to talk on camera, but the great anchors really are amazing listeners, and you got to hear the stories from the people that this happened to. And so when something major happens in our country that all of us as Americans have to pause and sort of look at a community, I want to make sure that the viewers know I'm going to be there.
Well, Tom, congratulations to you. We can't wait to see even more of you, and hopefully sometime soon in Atlanta. Thanks so much for helping us to get to know you a little bit before you take over. Thank you.
Jennifer, thank you so much.